So while the battery's charging, I figured it's a great time to kind of go over all the changes that I've made again. Um, so messed around with the foams. So I'll put up a photo on the screen and you guys can see just a quick snippet of kind of what I've been trying out, but it's been a couple different two-stage inserts, single stage. Our last run was on the single stage that comes with these tires, and I was thinking about trimming them. That was the conversation anyways, but I didn't end up going that route. I tried out some inserts, and anyway, so we have Vanquish two-stage in here that I believe these came with the stance. um, I've changed the shock oil out, so we now have 80 weight in there. So I just kind of went with my gut, and I think I sort of nailed it right from the bat. So that really slows the weight down quite a bit of the chassis. um, what else did we do? We changed the offset. So um, I poked it out a little bit more again. I wasn't happy with how it looked kind of visually. I didn't like how pinched in. Sorry, I know my hand's really close there. I didn't like how pinched in the rear was. I just thought it looked sort of awkward. Um, Obviously, it's going to be harder to get through some of the sections that we went through, but I thought it was necessary. Um, so same thing on the front too. So she's a little wider. Uh, what else? I took out that other seat. I watched another video and somebody said, it looks kind of funny with two seats, one driver, and one person. And I thought, you're right. So I just kind of popped that out. Well, I had it all apart. Um, I looked at changing the gearing, but I couldn't do anything with the spur, or sorry, with the current spur that's in there. The only pinion I could fit is what's in here. So I ordered a different spur for it, but it's going to take a bit to come in. It's weird, like nobody had. I had to go to eBay to get it. Um, so I'm trying to think if there's anything else besides the oil. Um, I tidied up some of the wiring that was in there. It was a little, I sort of just threw it together. So cleaned some of that up. Oh, that's the other thing. I did end up switching out the transmitter. So I went with a Sanwa unit that I have, which allowed me to put a thermistor on the motor here. You can sort of just catch the zip tie there. If you've seen my video on the custom comp crawler. Oh, battery is fully charged. All right. Sorry about the interruption there. So if you see my video on the comp crawler, you would have seen that I've been monitoring temperatures on that. So because I'm going to be messing with the gearing on this to try and get some wheel speed back again, I wanted to be able to know what's happening real time. You can't really get in there, especially as I'm closing it in. Like I put these side guards on now to try and just give it a better look, especially when we're filming and whatnot. There's not going to be a lot of airflow going in. Like we have the grill, obviously, but and then there's some space underneath, but we closed it in quite a bit, and then the battery goes in pretty far. So let's see what's happening in there, especially as we liven it up. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, we had a few tweaks. So we had the foams, the offset, the radio gear, and if I think of anything else, we will talk about it out there on the rocks. Alrighty, folks, so we are out here again. We have got all the changes discussed in the opening bit there. The only other thing I didn't talk about was I threw it on the scales of the changes, so I'll throw that up on the screen now so you guys can take a look. I'm not 100% confident in that one because that's the only time I've used the scale setup on my hydraulic table in my garage, and that table has a lot of movement to it, right? Like up, down, side to side, even just sway on the hydraulics. That's the first time I've ever had an error with the scales. One of them lit up orange on the screen, and like the values were all over the place. So I think that played into it, but it is what it is. It was data nonetheless. So let's run it up, this stuff here, and let's see if we can get up it without spinning the tires and all that sort of stuff. Look how clean that is. I think I've now nailed the setup. Between the foams and the weight and the shock oil weight, I think we're there. All right, so we saw how much better it was in the start there. So I've laid out some gates. So let's try and put it through some targets. I don't think any of it's too challenging. It's windy out, so it was like, where can I put them where the cones will stay? Okay, I think we got to pop a reverse there. Make it count, something like that. Whenever you take a reverse, always think about it and make sure you make it count. And don't waste it. Okay, I have to shift. I said it wouldn't be too hard, but I didn't leave myself any margin. I didn't measure it, I just threw them down. Oh, we bumped a cone back there. Just like rode on the bottom of it. Oh, and we hit another. I think I was too ambitious at that gate. Okay, this should be no problem. Alright, I have to move. Okay. Oh. I don't want that tire to come down. Ah, it came down. Yeah, there's one. So another reverse. Yeah, I definitely got ambitious with some of these. So 3 gates, 3 penalties. All right, so we've fallen off the podium now. We got to just see if we can finish this run out. You can see those 2-stage foams are letting the tires do the work now. I found with the single stage they came with, it was like you filled your car tires up to maximum pressure. They couldn't conform to the rock the way they needed to. And now the carcass can do the work it needs to. Uh-oh, this is not where we want it to end up, but there we go. Okay. See if we can recover. Yeah, the low speed control is so much better now with a different remote. So we're at 81 degrees. That motor is very happy. So we've got lots of headroom to gear up. Oh, we touched another one. I thought we'd get through that. Oh. Is that cheating? I don't know about that. 3 wheels. Okay. What an absolute unit. That's okay. Foul out that gate back there. Okay, that gate's done now. So we can kind of do whatever we want here. Look at how the front came back. Okay, the chassis is going away again, but it's still sticking with it. Wow. Wow, that was so impressive. Uh-oh. Oh. So let's let it roll back a little. Let's come this way. Look at this guy. You're a goat. Oh! Oh! Are we gonna make that top one? I've got it full crank. I can't turn it anymore. We made it. We made one clean. Gotta get that back cone without losing the truck here. We made it. Okay, now it's clear. So now that it's clear, you can do whatever you gotta do, right? So I can back up now. And we still didn't hit it. Look at that. Okay. Okay, I gotta hike to the other side. I am so jazzed that all of this is just working out. It looks really composed now. No, it's not gonna roll there. Something like that, I think. Oh, maybe. I think it rotated enough. No, we need that. We need that side. Hey, I think that worked in our favor. Okay, I will go to the other side and we'll run it through the... Okay, so I'm not doing anything, just the weight of the truck was getting it to roll. I have this ESC on max drag brake, which I think on a Castle is like 212% or something like that. So I'll just give it just a little. I wonder what the temperature is doing. 86. Let's come up a little. I'm not doing anything. So if we were on a timer, you obviously wouldn't want to sit here and just let this thing roll down the hill the whole time, but we're not on a timer. Let's try giving a little more again. Okay, so we got to try and swing over and then swing through the exit here. I was going to try and hook a turn there. That was the goal, but we'll just pretend like that cone was pointing us out. Wow. I mean, what is there to say? This thing is incredible. It has turned out absolutely incredible. So let's talk a little bit about the tuning process. Obviously, when we came out with no springs, we knew we needed a heavier oil. I sort of had an idea to go real heavy. I'm glad I did, because that's what it needed. Where I was really struggling were the foams. I tried some Endura inserts, and I gotta be honest, I can't make them work for me. I'll put up some photos, but I couldn't get the tire carcass to sit properly. When I put them inside these, the insert started bunching up because I guess it just wasn't the right outer diameter. And I tried, pardon me, I tried to get it to sit in there properly, and I couldn't. So I ended up cutting them, and my first cut I messed up. My second cut, I just cut along the outer ring, leaving all the fingers, and that worked. It fixed the mistake I had made the first time, which is cutting it flush with the inside ring, which just, the tires then just vacuum to that. But yeah, I couldn't make it work. So tried, and so then I went with these, and right away when I threw them in, I kind of went, why did I go and buy other stuff? Because this is exactly what I needed, and I had it right on the bench in another set of tires. It was just a matter of getting it out and trying it on. So I'm glad I went with my gut and took the wheels apart again, and went with something that I find a little bit more tried and true. I like my tires to really conform to the rocks. I like for them to have a certain compression and a certain amount of deflection too. You can kind of see the tire deflecting. You know there's a lot of bite going on there. I just can't seem to get an insert to work properly. So this was the Endura Super Soft. And this is a Rupture 2.2. So perhaps there's a tire that they would have fit better in. But for the tire I'm running here on our terrain that I wanted to run, they just weren't working for me. Still suffers from rough breakover, but with the 2.2s and the portals, it has enough clearance to go most places. Well, I don't really know if there's much else to say about this thing. It has surpassed my expectations, I think. Yeah, it's going to make appearances on the channel again. Like I said, this is going to be my main trail rig, but I have others that I like to drive too. But this one's going to take a little bit of a break just because it's had some hard miles with this tuning, and I'm sure you guys noticed in the last video that the roof had cracked, and the hood is actually cracking on both sides, just beyond the shock tower. So I need to do some repairs, and I have other panels, and I'll repaint and stuff like that. But I actually ordered an aluminum roof from McCraw, and I'll paint that up to match, and that should be more durable. It's not obviously going to shatter like the 3D printed one. I'm not too worried about the hood and the scratches. I just need to bond it back together. So yeah, I honestly, I am so happy with how this thing came. This is a spot where I'm pretty sure it flipped before. Oof. Look at that save with the servo. That's what that 1100 gets you, baby. You do have to watch at times though. Like this one's heavy, so it's not as bad. But in my stance where this came out of, holy smokes, it would literally throw the truck around. It was too much servo for that. I have to admit. I'm going to put in something not quite as insane to provide enough power to move the wheels, but. Well, one more climb. Let's climb out of here. So when we were determining that we needed different tires, it was struggling on this climb out. So we've got the correct tires for the terrain. We have the foams correct. Let's see what the difference looks like here. Look at that. And that's what it should be. Just glued. Holy moly. So happy with this thing. So let's take a look here. Hottest it's been is right now, 106. So lots of room to gear this up. No problems at all there. Oh, well, I hope that this is helpful to others who want to kind of pursue something like this. This thing is far more capable than I initially gave it credit for. I was going to use it as sort of a rock racer, rock bouncer, but you know, I've got other bashers. This thing it's not really where it's best suited. So, how do we make it better suited for the rocks? It performed admirably. All right, everybody, you take care.